All right. So, hey, boys and girls, thank you for working so hard on your learning stations. I'd like for us to come back together now, and I'd like for us to have a reflection and kind of wrap up our Learning Today in Math workshop. So there are 3 questions on the screen that I want you to think about. What did you notice about your learning stations today? What's something that you wrote on your Google slide that you really would like to share with someone or share with the whole class? And then what questions do you have about the number of sense routines that you were able to explore? So I'm going to give you guys about 20 seconds to gather your thoughts of figuring out what it is that you would like to share. You can respond to any one of these 3 questions. I'm going to give you 20 seconds of think time. All right, so if you would like to be the very first person to share, would you go ahead and type your name into the chat, and I will call on you to see who's going to be our first students to share. You can just type your name into the chat. Or if you would like to, oh, there we go. Maybe it's a delay on my screen. All right, Rosa, would you like to talk to us about one of the questions, whichever questions you'd like for us to listen to?
So I noticed that the learning stations could be used where the students explore a site or a virtual manipulative or something, right? And then you give them a certain amount of time, you time them, but you bring them back to you to have that accountability where they're writing what they noticed or what they learned regarding whatever activity they had to do.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Amanda, I saw your name next in the chat. Talk to us about which one of these reflections, or you can add to what Rosa was saying if you would like to.
Okay. So I like the accountability piece where they are reflecting but writing something back into a slide that goes back to the teacher. And then if this is done more independently and not when everybody is all connected online together, then you still get some feedback, and they know that they're expected to fill out those questions or log their thinking so the teacher knows that they did their math stations for that day.
Awesome. Thank you so much for adding. Faith, your name was next in that. You can either add to something that you heard Rosa or Amanda say, or you can add to any one of the responses that you were thinking about.
Well, the 2 ones that I explored, they were very visual. So that's what I noticed about the learning stations, is that I was working from a representation, and I was thinking about it in a new way. So it challenged my thinking, especially the fraction talks. It was like, I don't know. I don't know about that one. So I really enjoyed it, but I did like that visual aspect of it, is that really helps me connect the math that I'm doing to that visual representation.
Oh, very nice. Thank you for sharing. I'm glad that you noticed that there were some visuals in there, and I like hearing that it challenged your thinking just a little bit. So thank you for adding that to our reflection time. And Mr. Domingo.
Okay, so in my case, what I first noticed was I explored 2 very different ones. So they offer many different topics that students can explore, and how my kids say, I want to get better at that. And I'm like, okay, so we're going from meet to master. So you want to get to meet, because some of them is like, I want to master this. Like, no, hold on. Let's go to meet first, and then we'll point towards mastering. So the good thing, the thing I really like a lot, is how it helps them to build that growth mindset on them, because they have to explore it. They are not given instructions that you need to do this or that. So they need to figure it out by whatever it's given to them. And what did I write on my Google slide? I write the reflection of how I was doing my work and what I learned on my work. And any questions that might have risen about number sense is how can I, as a teacher, get better in number sense, or looking at the student point of view, how do number sense help me out? Or why do I have to do number sense? Like one asked me today, but why are we doing this? This has nothing to do with the divisibility rules that we're doing today.
Well, I like that you referenced adding that reflection onto your journal space that we gave you. And Amanda also brought that back into where we were able to capture that thinking, that learning in a space that they can always go back to and they can continue to add. So I really like that you referenced back to using that journal and how that was a place for you to add in there. Is there anything, Faith, can you tell me more about this? It's all connected. What do you mean by that? Faith, you're on mute.
Sorry. Domingo, I was just responding to what you were saying of the kids, you know, not seeing how it relates to divisibility rules, but really it's all related. That's what I was trying to say, is like, that's the beauty of mathematics, is like the relationships and the connections between what seems different idea to kids. It may seem not connected, but to me, it's like that's part of our job, is to kind of show them how, hey, it's really all connected. It's about the relationships between and among. So sorry about the mute.
That's okay.